All right, I'm excited to reveal this granny flat remodel. Like the slide says, it was 100% worth it, but it did take a little bit longer. So this is one of the first pictures I took. This is leading out of our breezeway to the granny flat entrance, and it has its own entrance. That's the main door, walking right into, we'll call it the landing or hallway or entranceway to the granny flat. And again, this is right after we had purchased it. I'm trying to do some layouts here with the shelving, but that shows the door to the bathroom and bedroom. Here's another little angle. If we pan over to the right, this is kind of the living room area of the granny flat. Nice wood paneling walls. Again, kind of spinning around clockwise in that living room. Big open room concept, which is great. And this is what it looked like when they had it staged. If I was back in that corner looking into the kitchen. Again, great layout. I went back and forth on what type of upgrades I was going to do. Whether or not I was going to add a bedroom, leave an open concept. At one point, I was trying to figure out if I was going to put an island in the kitchen. That's kind of a table that the previous owners left, kind of giving me a reference point for that. That's one of the walls in the kitchen. I even thought about tearing down this wall, but it was definitely load bearing. Like I said, went through a lot of different scenarios. And again, as I'm getting furniture out, kind of doing layouts, this is kind of back corner in the living room, looking out of the sliding glass windows. And those stairs actually connect to the other part of the house. And there's a landing there. I'll show you guys some pictures coming up about that particular landing. Here's the granny flat bedroom. At this point, I'd already got some ceiling fans installed, which is great. Here is the bathroom. Again, a great bathroom, well maintained, but definitely needed an upgrade if I was going to be renting this out. It had a floor furnace at one point, gas floor furnace. I don't even ever think I turned it on, even though it was in great condition, but I wanted to go mini splits. This is a picture of that stairway after I had removed the landing. That landing was a pain in the butt, and then also ended up having to jackhammer and that concrete curb that you saw there. But again, this is what what it used to look like, and that landing actually caused that door to have a huge gap below it. So I actually had to drop the door down to make it flush with the walkway. But there was a lot of funky angles going on in here, and that's just because at one point the granny flat was detached, and then they connected it with that loft bedroom. But again, removed the landing and was getting things prepared and realized that curb had to go. It's kind of funny, you don't know what you're going to run into until you rip things out. Rip the counters that were there. Was going to keep the sink there just for simplicity's sake, but when you start ripping up the walls, you have a junk pile. And thanks to Mission Minded Moving with their junk hauling division, who came and definitely cleaned things up great. So there again, got the ceiling fans in and getting things prepped as we start the official remodel of the granny flat. And I patched that door temporarily, but again, realized that I was going to have to move that curb. And anyways, like I said, you don't expect things, but you got to get them done. But the floor with that door was then dropped down to be level. This is the backside. If you're looking at those down from that loft room to that closed off now granny flat, we're doing some electrical here. Had to totally upgrade the granny flat. It had a 40 amp panel. Had to upgrade that to 100 amp, especially doing the mini splits, all the other electronics that people are running these days. So I had to rip up the floor a little bit in the loft room and then run the cables through there. This is just a picture of, I think that was some 2-3 wire that we had running through there. It was crazy. Had to buy a special 100 amp push-o-matic breaker temporarily so I could keep power going there. And it was a temporary fix because I was planning on upgrading the panel and ended up dead in the future. Here's the bathroom, ripped out that vanity, ended up closing up the old medicine cabinet. Learned a lot. This is a great vanity I got from Costco, but it's kind of designed for a new build, so I had to redo some waterline stuff, but it was pretty seamless. And then here are the kitchen cabinets that I actually also got from Costco. Came in a bunch of pallets, and again, learned a lot through this process. Had some people install these cabinets for me because it was quite the job. And when it comes to getting things level, I like to leave that to the pros. Unfortunately, sometimes I like to get things done and not always perfect, but I like people who are perfect and get things done. Speaking of perfection, Lucas is always making things that are done with a form of excellence by sweeping up the job site. Thanks to my buddy Carlos Smith and them, the flooring guys. Lucas definitely approved of the great floor. We went luxury vinyl plank with the flooring. Here is the kitchen cabinets installed. You can see the layout. At this point, we just have some plywood sitting on top thing as a point of reference. But the room's opening up. You can start to get an idea of what it's going to be like. New trim, like I said, ceiling fans, getting things ready for paint, man. Which the paint turned out great. There was some learning stuff with this butcher block. Not only just the precision of the cuts that you need to make sure you're always doubling and tripling checking things, but also if I had to do a granny flat remodel again or any type of remodel, I don't know if I'd go butcher block. It worked great with this layout, with our house, with this granny flat, as it has that farm feel, but longevity wise I think I would have went with quartz. Here's the bathroom done. Just, you know, new lighting, new vanity, just new fresh paint, fresh flooring throughout. We want that luxury vinyl plank all the way through. Here is the angle from the kitchen. We did a little bit of overhang. We still have it at that picture, kind of just point of reference. Again, open concept. I even put some furniture in there. Thought we were going to do some short-term rental, but we didn't. And here is right after my buddy Jesse moved in. He's got stuff everywhere. But rightfully so. I think that's some food of his on the countertops. But after moving in his entire life, definitely you need to take some time to eat some food. But he has things set up great. Actually removed one of that couches. But yeah, here's a before and after. I mean, yeah, and a little meme I kind of created. If you grew up in that age where the wood paneling was prevalent, then you probably did get some spanking. But yeah, 100% worth it. Took longer than I thought, but excited about the results on how the granny flat turned out.